welcome to week 13 and the final of our Youth Alpha recap videos with me, Antony.
And me, Darren.
And together we form the movement Catalyst Youth UK, bringing young people together all across the south of the UK, as well as further afield, dependent where you're watching this from now. But if you haven't seen our last 12 videos, somewhere on the screen now, you'll be able to see a link. Click it, go back and watch them. You never know, you might find something you enjoy in it. And if you do have any questions about it, you can find contacts for us on our website, which you can see on the screen now, and you can find our Facebook and Instagram on there, or our email addresses are also on the screen for any questions you might have. So today's video is a little bit different because last night the question was about the church, what people see their roles of in church, what their experiences of church were, and we felt it was a bit personal that you actually had to be there for the discussion for it to make any sense. So we decided instead of sharing the answers from last night, Darren and I will talk about what we've enjoyed about the Alpha course over the last 12 weeks, what we felt we've learned from it as well as seeing how we've seen our groups grow throughout, and also what we will keep in mind going into the future about what we can do next.
It was. I mean, like the session last night was really good. The young people were really, really engaging. We had a great time. But like Antony said, it wouldn't make any sense if we started reading off what they said. I mean, we're going to do one of the questions, I think, later on about some misconceptions of the church, which would be really good to let you guys know about. But the main thing is that, we have spent the last 12 weeks, has it been a whole 12 weeks back to back?
13, including last night.
Yeah, did we do anything? Did we have a week off or anything?
We had a week off, but we still met to talk. So it's 14 weeks, really.
But yeah, so we've done this for 14 weeks. That's nearly the entire time of lockdown then, isn't it, really? Yes. And I think it's gone really well. I really liked the Alpha layout. One of the things that I enjoyed, but I don't think it was relatable to a British person, was the videos that were given by Youth Alpha. I think they're a little bit too cheesy, and because whatever country you go to, they've all got a different type of sense of humour, and they find different things funny than what we would find things funny. And I think that what they were doing was more geared towards their own country, which we've come up with the conclusion that it's Canada.
Yeah.
Not America. So if you go back and watch session 1, we're just taking the rip out of America the whole time. But actually, we got it completely wrong. So that's us being British.
We apologise.
Yeah, sorry. So I think it was more. I think they're more geared around doing it towards Canadians rather than, or Canadians, Americans are kind of on the same comic level. So I feel it was more towards them.
Keep digging that hole.
That's fine. Whatever. But yeah, I think it was more towards them. But I do think that the topics they brought up and the questions they used was really, really good, and it was really relevant to our young people, and even to me and my faith. Really, is to again just get the questions kind of put things back into me more, like, this is the reason why we have the faith, and kind of reminded me of some of the fundamentals of Christianity.
Yeah.
But I don't know what is it. What about you? What did you feel? We've sat down and talked. When we talk about it after each session, we go, "Oh yeah, that was a good one. Lovely. Have a good evening. Cheers, then." But we've never gone, actually, what's it been like over the week? So what?
Yeah, you are all experiencing Darren and my recap video of Alpha, genuinely of how we feel, because as Darren says, we haven't talked about this.
And this is completely unscripted as well. But you couldn't guess that.
Yeah. But for me, I agree with you, Darren, is that actually over the last 4 weeks, I think it was, we stopped using the video and we just used the questions. And actually, I enjoyed the last 4 weeks a lot more because we were seeing a lot more open conversation and people being a bit honest.
Yeah.
Whereas I know that some of the opinions that came out last night were they didn't enjoy the videos. They felt, I mean, being on Zoom, sometimes they were out of sync. That probably didn't help. But it was also the fact that they felt they had to give a positive answer to everything because it was a very positive video. Whereas actually when we had conversations where it was just us talking, as youth leaders, as young people, as volunteers in the church, people were honest and people were very open to say, well, actually, here's what I believe. People were very open to hear other opinions. And that's what I've loved most about Alpha, is that we have seen a variety of opinions. There have been evenings where we've all agreed on an answer, but there's also been evenings where someone says something and someone's gone, that's really cool. However, I feel this. And that's been really nice to see that actually us all coming together to be able to listen as one Christian faith. For all of you that don't know, I work for a Methodist church. Darren does not. Darren, which denomination are you from?
You say that like it's right. But I work for the Methodist Church and Darren doesn't.
It's because I was about to say my next sentence and then completely forgot what denomination your church is.
We are just an evangelical church that's independent of any other churches. So we're part of the Salt and Light movement. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty and the finances and how we run the church, it's done by their leadership team. So we're not governed by anybody else. So we're only answerable to one person, and that's God. So we don't have to worry about bishops and archbishops and all that pomp.
Yes. But there, I mean, so Methodist Church, evangelical style church, but actually throughout the last 14 weeks, you wouldn't have noticed. There's been no, oh, well, in our denomination, we believe this, or in our church, we do this. It's been very much, as a Christian, I believe this. As a Christian, I think this. And in my faith, I feel. And that's been really nice to hear, is actually we can come together. And I know one of the misunderstandings that comes up later is about how the type of person you have to be. But from the group that we've had, none of us are the same. Like we're some of us have got similar personality traits, some of us have got similar humour, but we've all had very different lifestyles. And it's been great to be able to share that and just learn a bit more about everyone.
Yeah, it has. I mean, it's been really good to see with the young people, their different personalities coming out. And I think over the first few weeks, it did take a while for them to get in the swing of things. And for us, really, I mean, this is the first time that we've ever had to do youth work via Zoom. You know, I've never, video calls were just between friends. I don't think I've probably done a couple of conference calls actually via video, and that's about it. But to actually run a whole group through Zoom, which is the platform we're using, other platforms are available. It was interesting, and it was a different dynamic. And one thing, you know, if you're a nosy person, you got to see inside people's front rooms or dining rooms or office. Yeah. And slowly, I think they got used to it. I mean, you know, we did say to all the youth at the time that if they don't want to be on the screen, they can just come along and put a blank screen up. You know, as long as we can hear them and make sure that they're still engaging in everything, that's brilliant. But actually, the ones that did join at the beginning, some of them felt that Zoom wasn't for them, so they stopped coming along. And I'm hoping that, you know, you're watching these videos now to get what Youth Alpha was all about. But we could see from the other guys that they actually got used to it and they got more comfortable talking on Zoom. The only thing I would say about Zoom when trying to do this is that people would overtalk people, which really made it difficult to try and pick up what everything that everyone was saying. But that was down to the people not respecting others or not hearing others, maybe, probably. So that made it a bit difficult. So it was kind of a moment where, you know, if you had, like, during counselling, pass the banana. You know, if you've got the banana, you can now talk. So I think that took a bit of control from us to try and say, hang on, so yes, so-and-so, what are you trying to say? and then specifically talking to each person. But yeah, I think all in all, when it comes to denominations, I think in our young people, we don't even see that either. And one of the things that I strive for from the very beginning when I started doing youth work is that I am not denominational. I mean, I was brought up in the Church of England, but I was brought up, or when I came to faith in my late 20s, it's been actually, I've got a relationship with God. I haven't got a relationship with the Church of England, or I've not got a relationship. I'm not having a relationship with Alive Christian Ministries, who I currently work for. It's all to do with God. And I think if we can try and bring our young people up to have that relationship with God, and that's all they need, they just find a church where they fit in, that's great. Yeah. Because, in the Great Commission, Jesus sent people out to make disciples of all nations. He didn't say go and make lots and lots of different churches.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been a learning curve for us. I don't know how you feel, Darren, but I know that for any of you that have done work with Darren and myself, you'll know that we like the practical elements. We like to chuck a game in there. We like to chuck a few jokes in there and stuff like that. And when we first started the Alpha course, we had very much a layout of, right, okay, so people join at this time, let's do a game here, bit of an icebreaker, get everyone involved. But as the weeks developed, we thought, actually, scrap the game, because what we were finding is people would just join in their own time, and the conversation was made by itself. We didn't need that icebreaker, because actually, after the first couple of weeks, everyone was talking. I don't think you can really get away from talking too much when you're on Zoom if you're choosing to be on camera. Yeah. And I mean, one of the things that we have struggled with is Alpha. When you do it within a church, they encourage you to have smaller discussion groups. Yeah. Go off into this group, guys. And we couldn't do that on Zoom. And I think that was one of the only criticisms that I missed from doing Alpha in person, is that we weren't able to dive really into questions in detail because we couldn't split off. But actually, the confidence we've seen come out of the young people, the confidence we've seen come out of some of the leaders as well, actually, has been great, because a lot of the time as a youth worker, in conversations, you sometimes feel you have to lead that way. So here's the main question: what do people think? Or as a bit of silence, I'll put in another question. But we've been very lucky with our group that we've gone, here's the main question: what do people think? And then we could just sit back, and the conversation started going round. And it's been fantastic. I mean, I'd recommend Alpha to anyone. Maybe just wait until we're all back in the church.
Yeah, I mean, it has served the purpose in what we wanted to do. We decided at the beginning of lockdown that we wanted to join our two groups together. One is to also to share resources. Yeah. Two is so both of our groups get to know each other, because we were due to go on camp next week all together. And obviously that's not going ahead now, but we are doing a garage edition.
More on that later.
But I think it served to fill in that evening, and it's brought our two groups together. When yours joined, the leaders were there every week, which is absolutely brilliant. But I think that's one of the things that is different about doing it on Zoom, is that some of your lot didn't feel comfortable with doing it on Zoom. And I'm hoping that they're watching these videos instead of, and hopefully getting the gist of it. And, we've said after this, not like after this video, but after this lockdown, that we're going to continue to link our two groups together. So a bit like a, what was it called? Oh, like a pen pal. You know what I mean? You used to have to have a pen pal in France.
Like a foreign exchange student.
Yeah. And we'll do, I mean, hey, it's kind of like a foreign exchange. We're from Somerset.
I mean, any of our youth watching these videos, send us a message if you'd be interested in connecting with another youth and just writing letters every now and again.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. But yeah, it's Overall, I think it's been a really good experience, and Alpha's amazing anyway. And it's been a learning curve for us, I think, to deliver via Zoom. And would we do it again? I think the answer to that would be yes, we would.
Absolutely.
But without their videos.
Yes.
From the beginning. And have it more of a discussion group. I mean, like you said, we're usually with Alpha. I mean, we usually start off with a meal. You all sit down in a fellowship together. You have a meal together. You get chatting over some food and drink. And then you move on to the evening's questions. And then you've got breakout questions. And you all come back together. And the evening just flows, takes its own way, just flows on its own, which is really, really good. And I think that's one of the bits that we're missing, is one that we couldn't break off into smaller chunks. So we could have more of, like, say, 2 to 1, 3 to 1 ratio. And we didn't have the food. And because once you have food at the beginning, it relaxes everybody. Food has that, you just relax, and you're having a drink, not alcohol, but, you know, you're having a food and drink, and you're just chilling out, and you feel more at home because you're receiving food. It's something in the subconscious.
Absolutely.
All mumbo jumbo my wife does. Stuff like that. My head. But it's that sort of thing. And I think overall it's been an amazing course, and I've really enjoyed doing it. I've really enjoyed linking up with what you called Haywood's Heath. Haywood's Heath. It's a mouthful, isn't it?
HHMC.
HHMC. It sounds like a bank.
Still got that wrong.
HHMC and ACM came together for 14 weeks and did Alpha. And overall, I think it's been an amazing experience. I think the youth really enjoyed it. I think that's one of the positive things that we got back, is that they enjoyed it without the videos as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, lately I'm having to do a lot of paperwork about how we're starting things up again. And one of the comments that I was given when we asked for feedback was someone said that over this time we've been able to join up with a live church, and that they're really looking forward to the fact that one day we're going to get to meet these people face to face, and they're looking forward to being able to learn more, which I thought was amazing to read that, because that's something that we never really intended to happen. We always intended the camps to happen. We always intended sleepovers and things like that to happen under the banner of Catalyst. But never did we think we'd be able to have the opportunity to join the groups on a weekly basis. Every now and again, yeah, great. But being 4 hours away on a weekly basis, it hasn't been able to happen. And we've been able to give them that opportunity. And the fact they're excited about meeting everyone face to face just shows that actually we're 4 hours away, one in the southeast, one in the southwest, and we've managed to make some sort of little community over Zoom.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
Welcome to the new domination of the church.
Yes. We are called, what would our denomination be?
The Church of Zoom.
The Church of Zoom.
Zoom Church.
Zoom. Oh, yes.
You do a really cool logo. Let us know in the comments below if you want us to start church on Zoom. No. Also, if you're hearing funny noises on my end, I do apologise when this goes out on the actual video, because Sarah's been hoovering, because I can hear her hoovering. Brendan's playing on the Xbox and being really loud, even though I told both of them, just to let you know, guys, I'm going to be recording to keep your noise down. And so this video we thought we were going to run through and get it done and dusted. But I've had a phone call, my wife doing the hoovering, and I got a child that just doesn't want to be quiet, who's obviously came into the room whilst I was doing this because he's left the door open. So there we go. So we're going to pause at this moment while I go and sort some bits out, and we'll come back when we get this kind of Zoom. Yeah, it all changes, and then suddenly we're back. We're back.
Look at that, like magic.
The magic of video editing.
But yeah, as we were saying, we've managed to bring these two groups together. And one of the things that did come up in last night's session was the question, what are some misunderstandings that are given about the church? And actually, I feel like now's a good time to talk about that. Because one of the ones that did come up was about the fact that one of the misunderstandings is to go to church, you have to be perfect. You have to suddenly change everything about your life in one night, and that you can't have any fun. And it's not about that at all. It's about a relationship with God. It's about building that relationship with God, having faith, trusting in what God says is the right way to live and the right things to do. It's not about giving up your life. Look at Darren and myself. We're not your typical like minister style. I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong word because I don't want to offend anyone that might suddenly go, I'm in that category. But one of Darren's youth last night said there's 5 examples of people in church. When you're a child, you've got the 2 types of children. You've got the little kid that's forced to go by their parent and is just sat there, doesn't really want to be there. You've got the little kid that is like all about Jesus. Like he's been taught this is it, and he's in for it. Like everything is like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And then you got the adults, and you got the person that turns up at the back, just sits there, doesn't really listen, and is a bit like, I'm sort of in for it. You got the person who lives faith 24/7. And the way they worded it was they are 24/7 for Jesus and shoving it down people's throats. And then the 5th person was loves Jesus. It's all about the faith, but it's also all about sharing it so that others are comfortable. And that's where I feel Darren and I are, because we won't hesitate to talk about our faith. We won't hesitate to answer questions. We won't hesitate to say we're Christian. But we also are Darren and Antony as well. Like we have our personality on the side as well. And we've been gifted that. Like that is what we've been made to be. And that's one of the things that we want to get across to people, is that actually getting involved in church doesn't mean you change as a person completely. It just means that some of the ways you live change. And actually, it's more about being a better person rather than changing your lifestyle. It's more about how you treat people. And it's more about how you treat yourself, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's depending on what lifestyle you're leading. I mean, if you're drinking alcohol all the time or taking drugs, or I mean, you know, maybe that needs to change if you want to be a Christian, because you don't want to be filling yourself with all those nastiness. But
I mean, hopefully people got that bit. That was
yeah. But it is your life. You're still that same person, but your actions need to change, and you're just showing love to one another needs to be there all the time. And I think, you know, I will never ever be that person who will try and shove it down people's throats, because that's not how you win people over to Jesus. You need to, it says in the Bible somewhere about planting that little mustard seed. That's all you need to do. That mustard seed could be the action that you just helped somebody.
Yeah.
And you telling them, oh yeah, well I'm a Christian, and that's one of the reasons why I do this. That could be it. Done, dusted. Don't have to say no more. From that tiny mustard seed grows a massive tree, as the Bible says.
Get a little preach.
Little Bible plug as well. Yeah. So those sort of things.
You know what? We're just going to keep going, guys, because, you know, we're all human. We don't need to change.
What? Yeah, and also sometimes you should just switch your phone off whilst you're listening. It's a good job this ain't live. You wait till next week. This is going to be great next week, isn't it?
Oh, mate. Honestly, it's going to be mad.
Anyway, so as a Christian, you just got to change some of your ways. You can still be that same person, is what we're trying to get at. Nothing else is really going to change. You're still going to have your same friends. You can't change your family. Trust me, I've tried.
Shout out to Darren's family.
Well, they won't watch this. They're not even Christian. But yeah, and you can still have a laugh. You can still have a sense of humour. I mean, look at us two. We're just 2 youth workers that have so much time on our hands that we're just recording randomness of videos and silly things. But we enjoy it, and hopefully it puts across that we are normal. We're just like anybody else in the street. And you don't have to. It doesn't have to be that massive change in you. You don't have to become a different person. But we just get just our actions need to change, doesn't it? When we become a Christian, and I think that's it, really.
I mean, the thing is, if this is something that you're now sat there going, "Oh, I'm not sure about that," and maybe it's because you're put off by going to the church. Doesn't matter. One of the things that did come up last night was that the church is not the building. The church are the people that make it up. It says in Matthew chapter 18, verse 20, it says, "For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there am I with them." It literally says in the Bible, it's about the people. It doesn't matter where you're gathered. If you're with someone, if you're praising, if you're worshipping, you are part of the church. So if you want to get involved in it, but you don't want to go to the building, contact someone you know. Just say, "Look, I've got a few questions about this. Can we chat? Can we meet in the park? Can we meet in the pub? Can we meet in a restaurant, in a coffee shop, in the local supermarket, whatever you're into?"
Want to meet in the pub? Just bring me. I'm happy.
It's that thing of, as Darren says, planting the seed wherever you are, having that chat, making that first step. And that's all we really wanted to get across to you, which we somehow managed to extend into 13 weeks of alpha videos.
It could just come down to a few statements of, love one another, treat others how you wish to be treated, and change your life for the better.
Yeah.
So why don't we just do that? Why have we spent 14 weeks babbling on these videos? Anyway, that's you, pal, for done and dusted. That's you, pal, for done. We're done.
We'll make another video called Number One, and what it'll do, it'll just give you the time when Darren says that, and if you don't want to watch the rest of them, just skip to that time.
Sorted. But there is one thing coming up next week that I might have mentioned. I don't know.
There is. You go for it, mate.
Okay, so next week, obviously, if you're one of our youth that has been booked on or we're thinking about booking on, we were meant to be heading off. If you're from Somerset, we were heading off on a long old drive to the Privet Centre in
Avon.
It was the village of... So it's the Privet Centre in the village of Privet.
Alton.
In Alton. And yes, we went to be chugging along in our little minibus down the motorway to get there. But sadly, due to COVID-19, we've had to postpone, cancel, move. You don't need to put your hand up.
I'd just like to clear up. We were going as well.
Oh, yeah, we were going. Also, I need to clear up. So today being Tuesday the 21st, you may have received an email from our website saying not long to go now. If you received that, we do apologise. I'm going to go into the website and have a look and see why it sent that email out. Camp is definitely still postponed.
Oh.
Okay, so if you receive that email, it's not.
Can you send another one out saying ignore it?
Yeah, ignore that last email. But yeah, so instead, because we don't want you guys to go without, because obviously you love us so much and you want to see us make fools of ourselves and stuff like that, just like normal camp week, we decided we're going to put on camp, but it's going to be online camp, garage edition from my garage. Antony is travelling over on Saturday after his meeting, so he is going to be flooring it. We'll just see what record time he gets to Somerset this time. Time seems to go down. It takes shorter time. Must be modern technology of cars nowadays. So yeah, we are going to be spending the entire Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday doing 2 sessions a day with an extra session on the Thursday. We're coming together at lunchtime and in the evening, and we would love you to come and join us. We're going to be doing the same talks as what you'd find on camp. So it is going to be Christian talks, but more in the sense of that if you're not a Christian, that you can still take something away, because it's about things that are that happen to you that's part of life that we feel that you need to hear. We've got challenges, I think we decided that we're going to be doing. They've been coming in. I've had like 3 today, I think, or 2 today come through. What else are we going to be doing?
Questions.
Questions.
We're going to be answering questions, playing games.
Yeah. Oh, you can join in via watching on here on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook, on Instagram. And also, if you want to join in properly, as in jump in rather than just watching, you can join in with our Zoom call. Our Zoom will not be online, okay? You won't be on the screen, so don't panic. People may hear your voice because you'll be on a computer with us in the room, but that's the only thing. So you can be interacting with us as we do it. And all in all, it's going to be a really good week, I think. Everything's all set up. You may have seen that we went live on Monday, depending on when you watch this, Monday the 20th, to test out the equipment, to make sure the lights were working, everything looked okay, the sound was working. If you listened to that, you could have even heard me do a little bit of singing the wrong words to a song that Antony kindly pointed out. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's going to be an amazing week. We're going to have an absolute blast. I think we've got prizes as well. There's a really cool prize. There's a really cool prize. We need to start writing things down as well. Have you wrote all this down?
Yeah.
Good.
I thought you did.
I've not seen it yet. So hopefully...
It's why I let you take it. I thought you had it all.
I think I've got it. I mean, I don't... Who knows? Anyway, join us next week, okay? It is going to be an absolute blast, and we're going to have so much fun. And it's going to be a laugh.
I mean, just to add on to what Darren said, you can get involved on Zoom. If you want to get involved on Zoom, you need to let us know so we can send you the link.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I think we probably will send out the link to all our youth anyway.
All our youth will get it.
All the youth will get the link, the number and the password to get in so they can join. But feel free to join in throughout the whole session, okay? So if you're like, your parents have dragged you off to go shopping and, you're 10 minutes late, it doesn't matter. Still come and join us. We're happy for you to come. If it's like 5 minutes before the end, then, don't bother.
But we got, as Darren says, we got games, we got challenges, we got questions, but we still need you to send us any challenges or questions you have for us. They could be questions like, would you rather? Maybe you want to know some things about us. Maybe you could send in questions that compete Darren and I against each other. So maybe it could be, Darren, can you tell us what Antony's favourite colour is? Or Antony, can you tell us what Darren's favourite animal is? So we could do a bit of that. Because one of the talks, here we are, here's a little insight for you, it's about family and friends. So, friendship.
Yeah. I don't know what your favourite colour is.
Green.
It's no big deal that you don't know.
Nor does my watch. It's no big deal. What is your favourite colour?
Green.
Oh. What's my favourite animal?
Lion.
No, shark.
Dog. Shark?
Yeah. There you go. See, we don't even know each other. Well, send those questions in.
If you want an insight as to what camp is going to be like, this is it. Like, it's not scripted. We obviously have like the title of the talk, and that's as far as it goes. We're literally going to talk from us in us, like what we say we haven't thought about beforehand.
So it'll be fun. I mean, just come along and watch us fail, really.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
You know you want to.
On the Thursday night, we're doing a late night session as well, which is going to be in the garden with a campfire that's in my chimney. Because we're not having no open fires in the garden because it'll probably set alight my new fence panels. So.
Great. We've got health and safety on a camp that we're not even at camp at.
Hey, if it wasn't my garden and it was somebody else's, big fire. Because I bought those fences. Anyway, I think we should say goodbye because we've been going on.
Yeah.
If you've got any questions, you can find our email address down at the bottom of each of us. You've got our website along the top. What else is there that usually pops up?
We have a blog that comes out twice a week.
Blog twice a week, sometimes only once if I forget.
Oh, the blog. If you haven't read it, go and check it out because the blog will give you some insight as to what we're going to be talking about at camp next week.
Yes.
See if you can spot the links.
Head over to www.catalystyouth.org.uk/blog.
To vote for Darren. Anyway, we're going to finish there. But it's been great if you've joined us for all the weeks. We don't know whether we're going to be doing more videos after camp, but that's for us to worry about after next week. Hopefully we will see you next week. If you can't join next week, they will stay on YouTube for the weeks after, so you can watch them afterwards. What?
I think we should do another video.
About what?
I don't know, we just do some reaction videos or something.
Okay, should we do one of those unpackaging things? Just order a random thing for Amazon and be like, "What have we got?"
Or people could send it to us. Save our money. If you want to send us gifts, well, I'm happy to give you my address. It's on the website. Go to our website at the bottom. You'll find my address. Send us a package. We'll open it live on camera, maybe. No, we're going to pre-record it because you never know what comes in the post. But yeah, so that's the end. So all these things we've been talking. This you can tell this we've got no script whatsoever, can't you? So that's the end of our video this week. It's been an absolute pleasure to do Youth Alpha with all of you that watched it. If there is anybody that we
all 9 of you,
yeah. Thank you for joining us. We will hopefully do another video. Maybe of something. But yeah, join us next week for camp. It's going to be an absolute blast, as I've said. So that leaves us for our final thing. It's goodbye from him.
That is goodbye from him. See you soon.
Cheers.